All right, Mr. Cole here with an edition of the Classroom Chronicles. I want to go over real quickly about a fraction ratio and how you're going to determine if a fraction ratios or a pair of fraction ratios are equivalent to each other, because we've been going over regular ratios like a 1 to 2 ratio and a 4 to 8 ratio, and we talked about how you would simplify those to decide if they're equivalent or not. And everybody can do that. But now you've been thrown these, today you've been thrown these fraction ratios of something like 2/16 to 2, okay? Or a 1/2 to 8 ratio. So how would we determine if those two ratios are equivalent, okay? So we still have to do the exact same thing. We have to simplify completely. Now there's a little bit different of a process here. So let's think about it. In a ratio or in a fraction, okay, because a ratio is just a special fraction, what does this middle line really actually mean? What does that middle line really mean? Well, it means to divide, right? All it's saying is that it's 2/16 divided by 2 is what that is. So let's write it that way, okay? And we're doing all this to simplify, guys, okay? So we're going to have 2/16 divided by 2. Now, I don't like trying to divide 2/16 by 2. How can I write 2 as a fraction? Okay? And you can write any whole number as a fraction by putting it over 1. So let's rewrite it one more time. 2/16 divided by 2 over 1. So now we've got a fraction divided by a fraction. Now that makes me a little happier, okay? So now, what doesn't make me happy is dividing fractions, okay? And we've talked about some rules on that in previous classes. So our rule was to same, change, flip, right? So same, keep the first number the same, change this to multiplication, and then flip this one upside down. So 1 over 2, okay? So then you can just multiply straight across. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 16 times 2 is 32, okay? So now we have simplified this to a point that there's no fraction in it anymore, which is a good thing, right? Okay, so then we still need to simplify it a little bit more. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides, on the top and the bottom. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 32 divided by 2 is 16. Okay, so that 2/16 to 2 can be simplified to a 1/16 ratio. Okay, that is completely simplified down to here. Okay, let's do this one real quick to see if these two are equivalent. So I'm going to once again rewrite it as a division problem, and then make that 8 a fraction by placing it over 1. Okay, and then same, change, flip, same, change, flip, multiply straight across. So you end up with 1 over 16, right? So 1/2 over 1/2 to 8 ratio actually simplifies to 1/16. So these two ratios, this one and this one, although they look really, really different, okay, they're fraction ratios, they are still equivalent ratios because they both simplify to 1/16 and 1/16. So I hope that'll help you with your homework assignment.